Good evening. Today is Monday, May 8th, 9:30, and I'm sitting next to a road dog. My buddy Pat had to go up to Baltimore for some business, and he is staying here at the humble abode, hanging out before heading back to Charlotte. Pat, how's your trip been? How's golf? What's going on, man?
Yeah. First of all, shout out to the newlyweds, Tommy and Lauren Burford, formerly Lauren Thomas, of the Virginia Tech class of 2017, of the fam. Awesome wedding on Saturday. Around the Richmond area, little Star Hill Brewery on Friday night. Little Hollifield Manor. Not to be confused with Dax Hollifield, but it was Hollifield Manor. Great place. It was good. Played some golf today with a customer up around Baltimore at a fundraiser event. So it's a lot of fun. Here I am in the Fairfax. Drove by Roots Natural Kitchen on the way here. I said, "Wow, it's like a pizza home."
Can I ask a question? When you're playing golf with a customer, let's talk about a little business golf etiquette. Are you playing? How serious are you playing? How mad do you allow yourself to get?
I mean, it's literally just like any other golf game for me.
Okay.
You know, I'm playing hard. You know, you got to play hard. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to not suck. It's really what's happening. And that's what happened today. I tried not to suck. Yeah, I mean, I didn't play well. I had 3 pars. I did shoot 100. This is my second round out since like August of last year. So, 2 rounds in 9 or so months.
Can't win them all, dude.
It's fine. I did have some nice shots. I did have some nice putts. I've kind of just become a, college football and skiing are my top 2, and then golf has kind of taken college. I mean, you got to tell me, college football and skiing are, shotgun and driver, and golf is, hanging out in the back. But we had a great time. Hayfields Country Club today. So that's your spiel. Should we do a haiku?
We should. How are you?
Wait,
I'm good, man.
Do you have any updates?
Yeah. So this weekend, I went to a beautiful wedding. A lot of Sons of Holy Matrimony this weekend. Sons of She Said Yes.
All of it.
Sons of Till Death Do Us Part.
Sons of Stepping Down the Aisle.
Trent Young and Brittany Van Veld Houston. Van Veld Houston lost a couple of syllables on her last name. It is now Brittany Young, Forever Young. It was beautiful in Williamsburg, which I had never been to.
A lot of history.
Dude, loved the history. Got to see Mike Santa Maria, Eric Gallo, Colt Pettit, CJ Carroll, the Wilsons, just a ton of amazing people. Terrell Smith came up from Idaho, all the way up from Idaho. And I ran into some of the best chins you will see in the New River Valley. The entire Fox family, Mr. Fox, Coleman Fox, and Coleman's younger brother, who is at William and Mary at grad school, I believe. But man,
You mean impact player Isaiah Ford?
At William and Mary, having an amazing. Are you mixing him up with Andrew Ford?
No.
What are you talking about? Oh, that's right. They put Coleman's picture on for the William and Mary game.
And no, I think it was a Clemson game.
That's right.
Clemson,
that's right.
I don't remember what game it was.
Anywho, all the lacrosse goes. We had an amazing time. Williamsburg, 11 out of 10, had a great time. Also, I don't know if this is a pro tip or a life hack, but not planning sometimes works out. So the hotel that had the block was $180 a night. I show up. I don't know what time the wedding is. I don't know what the attire is. I don't know where I'm staying. I book a hotel one night at the Hilton, closer to the venue, $62. And it's a condo. I didn't do any cooking or anything, but it was definitely nicer than whatever else was saying. And I saved like $180. So sometimes planning works out in your favor.
Yeah, but was there a shuttle to the hotel that you missed?
No, I made God willing, I made it to everything. And I know I'm missing people. Jack Click was at the wedding too. It was great to see Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
Jack be quick.
But it's great. Let's start this podcast. Hokie haiku off dome.
I know. I've been trying to, punt.
I was giving you some more time.
I've been trying to punt the haiku because I'm like, I don't know what I have right now. Okay. Let's see. It's May 8th. How much is going on in May?
Cinco de Mayo.
Okay. Antoine Powell R.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got I didn't know. Okay, can we talk about Antoine Powell when he was going through the cycle with us? It was just Antoine Powell. I don't know where this new last name, his last name got augmented.
Florida's got weird rules. Maybe they allowed him to add it on to the end. No disrespect to the name, but it definitely was not in there on the first go around.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
That's right.
Dorian Finney-Smith.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
Michael Carter-Williams.
Michael Carter-Williams. Yeah.
Oh, you're making the haiku out of triple names.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Kim Jong-un.
We're nixing the haiku. No more haiku.
No haiku today.
No haiku today. We tried. We're off to an amazing start. So for talking tweets, we actually used our own tweets. We always talk engagement. We love engaging the Hokie community. We love talking that good Hokies talk. And we had 2 tweets that went out, which were most devastating losses and most elating wins. To a surprise to no one, people really interacted with the devastating losses. So we will start there, and in our fashion, we'll end with the positives. Now, I want to preface this by saying my criteria for most devastating loss, and this may be different for you and for you, and that's okay.
That's fine.
Is a devastating loss to me is a game where you should have won the game. You were more talented, and somehow, whether it's coaching, whether it's a despicable performance by one side of the ball, turnovers, you lose the football.
So you're favored. You're always favored.
It doesn't have to be sure. Or like a player on the other team goes out. Perhaps the quarterback on the other team, he's only going to run the ball, and he punched your team in the face before the game started. Like a game like that, a game you should win. Anywho, so here's my list right now. Georgia Tech over the Fuente era was rough. It was really rough. I'm just going to break down a few of them. 2016, a magical year from beginning to end. But we played Georgia Tech when we're 7-2. We're on a 4-game win streak. And we dropped the game at home to Georgia Tech 30-20. Four turnovers, and we were losing 20-0 at halftime. Brutal. But we'll get them next year. No! 2017, we're coming off of the Miami game, a really good Miami team. You lose to them on the road. They're pumping in sound. Were you at that game?
Yes.
He was at that game.
They were not pumped. Dude, it was loud.
It was loud? I've heard you say it's the loudest game you've ever been to.
It was like the loudest place I've ever seen Tech play.
So
it was so loud that night. If you were there, like Hard Rock, they have the plexiglass top.
Mm-hmm.
So they have these ceilings that bounce the noise back in. And that night it was loud, man.
So no noise gate. You don't think there was any pumping? You think Miami was just rolling? They were like number 8 in the country.
I mean, they might have pumped in noise, but like it was loud regardless.
So we're coming off that Miami game. You feeling okay about yourself? Team's really good. And then we go to Georgia Tech. We lose 22-28. Georgia Tech had 400 yards rushing. I'm sorry, they had 400 yards total, and they had 140 yards passing off of 2 completions total. 2 completions for 140 yards. Unbelievable. A Chase Mumalian performance from them throwing the ball. And then in 2018, the Sean Savoy hit in the face game with the punt. Georgia Tech rushed for 465 yards and had 7 touchdowns, 0 passing yards. They just ran the ball, and they ran it extremely effectively. I don't have the score written down. We lost that game like 48-22 or something like that.
Yeah.
Brutal game.
49 something.
Brutal game. Night game at, I think was it a Thursday night?
It's a Thursday night. Yeah. I went to the Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville that weekend.
The world's greatest teacup party. What do they call it?
Cocktail party.
Cocktail party. That's right. The only other ones that I have, and I went with kind of recent ones, the Oklahoma State loss in 2017. That wasn't a bad Oklahoma State team. It was just the fact that we had 518 yards of offense, lost the turnover battle 2-0, and we fumbled the ball on the goal line. Chase Muma, 1 for 1, wearing the wrong number. Not a great game plan by and that was the game where the coach, who's the coach over there? Coach Gundy?
Yeah, Mike.
Coach Gundy got the Gatorade shower. Coach Fu got all the Gatorade on him. Little Gatorade exchange at halftime. Not great. Not halftime, at the end of the game. Sorry, it's late. I'm fumbling over a couple of words. But that was brutal.
I was about to call you out.
Yeah, I know. I'm fumbling over a couple of words. And then 2014 Miami. It was my first night game ever at Lane Stadium. I believe it was the only night game of the year besides UVA at the end. And we come out. I'm like, this is sick. I mean, the stands are full. People are excited. It's sweatshirts and it's blue jeans. Everybody's excited. Fireworks. I'm like, this is awesome. This is what I saw on YouTube. But Duke Johnson had other plans, and he absolutely decimated Tech. He had 2 touchdowns, 286 yards. Would have been shut out. It was one of the games where we almost lost the streak, but Mark Leal bailed it out with a last-second touchdown to Isaiah Ford at the end of that football game. That was brutal. I think we lost that game like 28-7, 32-7, something like that.
It was 30-6.
30-6. Who's counting?
Get through it.
What are some of those?
You got a really long list here.
I know.
Finish it up, man.
What's on your list? Devastating losses that come to mind.
I got 3. 2013, Tech loses to Duke at home. Kendall Fuller has 3 interceptions. Like, you tell me Kendall Fuller, this phenom 5-star freshman, has 3 picks in a game.
Feeling pretty good.
Oh, did you guys win by 100 or 200? No, we actually lost to Duke at home in 2013.
I'll never forget that. My dad, this is when I was committed to Tech, and we came back because Paramus Catholic always played on Saturday, and my dad would like record all the games. So we're midway watching the game, and he goes, and it rings true to this day. He goes, Tech does this all the time. You're teetering on being ranked, or you just become ranked, and you lose to like Duke. You lose to Duke. I'll never forget when he told me that. It was so funny. That's what I remember. We wore orange that game too, right?
We looked good. We had the orange tops, orange bottoms, maroon helmets, and that was the first time I ever saw us lose at home. I was 10-0 leading up to that game. Pat goes to Virginia Tech. He's a freshman. He's never seen Tech lose a game.
Lose to Duke.
Number 2. Shout out to Dad for bringing me to all the cupcake games. I would always go to like App State or like Temple, UConn, Western Michigan, UVA, and then the biggest game that I ever went to before becoming a student was like 2012 Georgia Tech and 2008 Maryland. So it wasn't like
fun games,
great games. There was no gauntlet, but things really turned around after that Duke game. Next year, 2014, East Carolina comes to town the week after we beat Ohio State, and Shane Carden hit that Hardy guy a few times, and that was just unbelievable. Like, I thought I was going to have a mental breakdown. It was horrible.
Great Isaiah Ford catch in that game.
Oh,
unbelievable Isaiah Ford catch in that game.
Yeah, in the southeast, the southeast corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Great catch by Isaiah. 2015. Pittsburgh, 19-9 at home. All 3 of these games are at home. It's so brutal. All 3, 19-9. It's like a light sprinkly rain the entire game, and Tech has 9 rushing yards. I'm looking at the scoreboard. It's like there's like 4 seconds left in the game. Like Pittsburgh's in victory formation. I'm like, wait a second, does that actually say 9? And I'm standing in the West stands, like just screaming at the field, 9 rushing yards. 9 rush, like as any super upset fan would do. So that's those were 3 years in a row where I just had some really tough moments inside the gates of Lane Stadium.
You crushed that.
We move on.
Yeah,
that's my 3.
I have some bones to pick with Hokie fans, because these are games that are viewed in hindsight as like I'm pissed losses. And I don't think that they belong in that bucket. And the first one that I have is the Duke Sweet 16 game from 2019. Was I upset that we lost? Yes. Was I sad that we lost? Also, yes. Was I pissed that we lost? I don't really think so. It was so fun to watch that team. They went against the eventual number 1 draft pick, the guy RJ Barrett, who's playing on the screen right over here. for the New York Knicks right now.
I hate him.
And we lost the game. So I think I don't think an angry reaction comes from that. You were at that game too.
I was. Bryce and I took it in from the upper deck, man. We had a lot of Michelob Ultras that evening.
A lot of salads.
We had so much fun. I think here's the criteria. You got 2 buckets, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You got bucket number 1. This is kind of similar to what Billy was saying, like devastating. Like I can't believe we lost that game, right? Where like Tech is probably favored. The loss might come against an inferior opponent. The loss shouldn't have happened. And then there's the other bucket, which is the stakes were so high. And that's where Duke 2019 is. That's where the Florida State National Championship is. That's where the Boise game is. That's
Ohio State 2014.
Ohio State 2015.
15, thank you.
Bama 2009. USC 2004. That list is really, really, really extensive. You've seen the stat. Every single time Tech plays a top 5 opponent, they'll show you the record. It's not a good one.
No. We're going to change it.
Working on it.
We're working on it.
Working on it.
Some other games that fit in that category for me where I wasn't angry. This could turn into a debate. I think we agree. The 2019 UVA game was a great game between 2 great teams. It wasn't people talk about that game like it was the most embarrassing loss in the last 10 years. I'm sorry. I don't want to be, and maybe you disagree, I don't want to be at a point where the rivalry is so unhealthy that losing in a rivalry game where the other team is good is the most devastating, head-scratching loss in the last decade. Thoughts?
Sure. No, they were a good team that day. They might have been the better team. I'd still think, on a neutral field, the stakes were high. That's why people are pissed too.
That's true.
I mean, that was kind of,
championship chance, dude.
That probably started COVID.
Speaking of COVID, the Liberty game, while devastating, I raise you 2 things.
I was devastated before that game even kicked off.
Yes.
Okay. We were like, what? Dude, sub 500?
We were so bad. It happened during a Mickey Mouse season, number 1. Number 2, if you have a list of all of the games that we have played teams similar to Liberty, I raise you Old Dominion twice. I raise you ECU twice.
ECU like 7 times.
7 times. I raise you JMU. Like, I think all of those games are way more upsetting than the Liberty game myself. Political affiliation aside from the from LU, from the Flames, that's how I feel about it.
How many times did we lose to ECU?
2008.
08. 2014. 2015. I think that's
double whammies, dude.
I think they did get us back. They was sneaky. 2015 was sneaky, man. I went down to that one in Greenville, and that was just we were staying with these guys, and they had like roaches crawling around their cabinets.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like, I need to get the heck out of this place.
If I was an ECU student, though, you know how much I would troll Tech. Like, regardless of the reasoning that the series was canceled, I would be the Joe Rogers of ECU at like Virginia Tech. I would tweet at them every single morning, every single time at lunch, and every single time at dinner. I would tweet a highlight every day. So yeah, that's
glad you're not doing that.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip this coin.
Flip the script. Take it away, my friend. Most elating positivity. We're getting to the positives here. 19 minutes in.
lot more happiness
right
here. So I'm going to start with the last 10 years just to name a few. But if we are talking the last 10 years, the number 1 elating victory in football, was the Ohio State win.
Hands down.
If you were there, if you were watching on TV, if you were jumping around in front of Sharkies, climbing up the lampposts, incredible evening. Just seriously awesome. Dude, every Hokie fan who went up to Columbus for that game, like that is just a stamp on your life. You're like, I lived a good life. Like,
I could die tomorrow.
Now, anything that would rival that, I would say it is the ACC championship in basketball in Brooklyn, beating Duke. I think that and the Ohio State game are on the same plane.
Can we? I would almost lump the ACC tournament into one. I think that's almost like you have to view that as a holistic victory.
Yeah, I'm not, because how could you just talk about that Duke game?
The Duke game was the least exciting one out of all of them.
Without talking about the night before.
And the night before that.
The night before.
Or the night before that. They were all awesome.
So, okay, we're going to put those games we're going to put them in a vacuum.
Yes.
All right, but some honorable mentions from the last 10 years. Any of the dramatic wins over Virginia.
Which one was your favorite?
Which one was my favorite? It's got to be 2018, dude.
2018
was awesome. We were dead. I mean, we were also dead in 2021.
That's true.
Without a coach.
Without a coach.
2021, we didn't have a coach, and we stormed their field, and we saw the funniest play from an opposing team of all time.
And then he retired.
We forced him into retirement.
2014 was epic.
2018 was just incredible. I ran on the field after the game and got on TV right behind Coach Fuente.
The picture's epic, dude. Picture's so your FDNY cap or something?
FDNY cap and my orange and maroon scarf. It was my 24th birthday at midnight. Went to Big Al's, drank out of the cup. Taylor Newman and James Lavender met that night, and now they're married. They got married last week.
That's an unbelievable story. How is that not like your number one moment? That's a stamp on your life. Your birthday, you win that game, you're on TV. I feel like that's climbing the leaderboards as we talk about it.
I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I have some sweet pics.
I bet you do. We'll need to post those tomorrow.
From Big Al's that night. Let's see.
Wait, can we talk about 2014?
2014, we were dead too.
Dead in the water. Teams almost fight each other at the middle of the field.
Motuopuaka just getting after it.
Yep. And Daddy Nicholas and Kenny Canham, I thought he was dead. I think it was Jack Lambert. They played two quarterbacks that day.
Grayson Lambert.
Jack Lambert played middle linebacker for the Steelers.
Grayson's anatomy was about to be.
So Daddy not only sacks him, but also dislocates his fingers for like the 15th time. And he lays on the ground. And I'm like, dude, he's concussed. It's like, no, he just dislocated his finger. He had these two fingers his entire senior year completely broken. Like just completely broken.
But he was still able to hit Ron Cherry's hand. In the Carolina game.
Wait, that was a devastating loss too.
That was
a devastating loss.
Okay, frequency hop back to the devastating loss category. Coach Beamer's last game was absolute torture.
That was terrible.
Especially considering that dude didn't have possession of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You got Brewer leading the comeback. You got Daddy Nicholas, throwing punches to Ron Cherry.
And two things in hindsight that I absolutely didn't love from that week. I hated the uniforms. I thought the uniforms were horrible.
Okay, that's a take. I
liked them. You liked the jack-o'-lantern uniforms.
They literally were jack-o'-lanterns.
I'm gonna need a Clark Ruland weigh in on that. And then number two, I might get crushed for this. I didn't like the pandering for game day. I didn't like it. I thought it was whack. I didn't like it. The game day for Frank. Game day. I didn't like it. I didn't like any of that. But amazing career. I hated that the regular season ended like that, but was able to make it right in the UVA game,
Independence Bowl,
and in the Independence Bowl where we scored.
That UVA game was also a thrill.
It was.
Adonis with the pick.
It was.
Brian Malik.
There was no way we were losing that game. There was a 0% chance that game was.
Isaiah's touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. What's next on this list? Okay. All right. So UVA wins. We talked about that. Belk Bowl comeback.
Unreal,
obviously,
dude.
you guys know what happened.
Sugar.
Good time hanging out in Charlotte,
Mm-hmm.
City of Champions.
Got to be honest, that day was freezing. Do you remember how cold that day was? It might have been the coldest day in the history of Charlotte. It was so
That's
cold.
actually not true. Because December 25th, 2022, it was single-digit temps, and my pipes froze.
That's right.
And then my home flooded.
That's right.
I still am not back in there. So yes, colder days in Charlotte have occurred.
That's true.
The Belk Bowl comeback. Okay, Carolina, 2 Carolina games. One of them, the 6 overtime game, obviously. 2 Carolina 2021 first game after COVID.
Pick one.
Billy, pick one.
6
overtimes.
I think it's a 6 overtime.
It's 6
too.
overtime.
It's got to be 6. I had a debilitating headache after that game, but from beginning to end, the fact that I love. We've talked about this ad nauseum. 3:30 kicks that turned into night games. This turned into almost a midnight game because the game seemed like it would never end.
K-fan move.
And
I'll tell it later.
And it was just it was absolute euphoria. Just euphoria, dude. I don't think you could. Yeah, give me the 6 overtime game
every time.
And I literally cried at the 21 game. I knew you were about to say it, but 21 was amazing. It wasn't even as much as the game as it was just getting back to football. So
prior to that, I just have 3 written down that, I was 14, 15 for these. 2009 was a great year. Started off winning the Orange Bowl, beating Cincinnati. Just defensive performance by the fellas. A lot of interceptions. Tyrod just crushed it. Goal line stands. Miami 2009 in the rain. Nebraska 2009. Everyone knows about Nebraska 2009. Those are just 3 games that, it was hard to wipe the smile off the face.
Mm-hmm. You got to add one of these. I think it was 2011, the year that.
Dude, Miami.
Mm-hmm. Where Logan runs it in at the end.
What a football game.
Were you at that game? Was your dad at that game?
No, me and my dad were freaking out in the basement. I think we went to Macaroni Grill after to celebrate on Route 10.
Were you guys the only people there? It must have been like 10 o'clock.
Macaroni Grill used to be an awesome place.
Oh, no, Macaroni Grill is great.
No, it was a 3:30 game, my friend.
Oh, okay. And one of those games that turned into night games. Love to see it. That's a fun list. Any fun games that we're missing?
We're missing a ton. We're missing a lot.
I'm saying, is there anyone that just jumps into your brain right now?
We're missing a lot. When we won the ACC championship in 2007, that was huge.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge.
A real feel-good game that was just beating the piss out of UVA to clinch the ACC in 2016. The Coastal. I'm sorry, to clinch the Coastal in 2016.
Feel-good moment.
But yeah, no, I appreciate all the engagement. We had a ton of fun with that. We just spent 20 minutes on it. So moving on to other Hokie headlines here. Antoine Powell he stole the beginning of the show. He's stealing the middle. Antoine Powell Rowland, an edge rusher transfer from the University of Florida. Yes, we are receiving a player from Florida.
It's about time. Kerry Blackshear Jr. somewhere is like, hey, they're finally getting, the receiving offer,
yes. This was the player to be named later in the Kerry Blackshear trade.
Yes, the Kerry Blackshear and Alan Chaney.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Alan Chaney come to us? I don't remember.
And
Jalen
Hudson. Yes, Jalen Hudson, one of the prized possessions of Buzz's first class, transferred to Florida. Had a great career. He's still playing He's playing basketball over there somewhere.
Yonder.
But yes, so 2022, he had 11 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, which according to ESPN was tied for 7th in the country. Pretty impressive. He was slated to be a starter. He's from Indian River in Portsmouth, Virginia. Was the 4th ranked player in the state of Virginia in the 2019 class and was high on the Hokies. May or may not have been in that cudgel of silent commits that never ended up at Virginia Tech. But he's here now. So this is huge. This is huge for Coach Pry. This is huge for the Virginia to Virginia Tech movement. Really, really excited about it. And I decided to go down a fun exercise because I asked myself, when was the last time Tech had a guy who had like 6 or 8 sacks? And this is a pretty fun list. So here are the sack leaders over the last 15 years. Surprisingly, Taiwan Garbett had 6.5 sacks last year. I was blown away. I was like, when was the last time we had 6.5 sacks?
I think he had 3 in the BC game.
He had 3 in the BC game. 2021, Dax Hollifield, 4.5. 2020.
4.5 was our leader.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Amari Barno, 6.5 in 2020. 2019, Shamari Connor with 5.5. 18, Howshawn Gaines, 4.5. 17, Tremaine Edmonds, 5.5. That's a brutal 3-year stretch with the
entire list you just read was pretty brutal.
And then
is the most from the last 5 years 6.5 sacks?
Yes. Yes, that is correct. And then one of the most underappreciated Hokies led Tech in sacks 3 years in a row. His name is Kenjamin Akanum. He lives in San Diego, California. He had 7.5 in 2016. He had 4.5 in 2015, and he had 10.5 in 2014. Shout out to Ken. Then you go Luther, 6.5, Bruce Taylor, 5.5, James Gale, 7, Stephen Friday, 8.5, Nikos Brown, 6.5, Jason Worlds, 8, Chris Ellis, 8.5. That's a fun list.
That is. What about 2006?
Okay, I'm not.
You went back to 2007 when we had the number 1 total defense in America in 2006, and you were just like, wait a second. This experiment is so fun that I'm actually not going to give you 2006.
If it's here. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's easily accessible. So 2006, our leader in sacks was, wow, Chris Ellis only had 4.5 sacks. He led the team in sacks in 2006.
How many total sacks did we have? Everyone was eating.
Total sacks. I'm not about to do all this math.
Number 2 on the team was Brandon Flowers with 3.5.
And Nolan Burchett, Xavier DV, William Wall, Brendan Hill, Carlton Powell, Vince Hall, Cordero Thompson, Barry Booker. And there's a lot of sacks. So, yeah, looking forward to Antoine Powell. I hope we can get a pass rush. A pass rush is something we have been missing for the last couple of years. And I think this is absolutely huge. So massive pickup. This next segment, if this podcast hasn't been off the rails.
Are we taking any breaks on this pod?
We shouldn't take a break, but we should talk about our friends over at South Block Juice.
Oh.
South Block is a smoothie, acai, and hot bowl place in Nova, DC, Arlington. If you are looking to go ahead and get yourself a smoothie after class at F45, if you're looking to get maybe a midday pick-me-up, if you're sitting in front of the computer and you're getting awful tired and you need something healthy, look no further than South Block. South Block is owned by a Virginia Tech alum. Love that. Love to support Virginia Tech alums with businesses. Okay. You can order right on the app. And here's the great news. If you use the app and you use discount code SONS5, SONS5, you get $5 off of your first order. May I recommend the PB&J smoothie? It tastes just like you're biting in to your mom's peanut butter and jelly that she made for you at lunch in 3rd grade. Cut off the crusts and cut it diagonal. It tastes fantastic, guilt-free.
Is it toasted though?
No, the smoothie is... Dude, you threw me for a loop. The smoothie is not toasted, but you can get some warm bowls if you'd like to. They're absolutely fantastic. I've been 5 or 6 times, literally in the last 10 days. It's so good. So check them out. Again, that is South Block in the Nova and DC area. In honor of a couple of amazing Hokies, Izzy Post and Clark Ruland. It was almost like a commitment. They announced their commitment to one another and their commitment to love on Twitter. And we were like, yo,
110%.
110% committed.
Hashtag no interviews.
No interviews. This has got to be the most Hokie wedding of all time. And I love it. Lean into it. I can't wait. So Pat and I decided this week for Pylons, we were going to draft some of the most perfect Virginia Tech wedding things. If you were doing a wedding to make it as Virginia Tech as possible, this is how you would do it. So Pat, you have the first round.
Well, here we go. Just so we are being clear here, can unthinkable things happen?
Yes.
So we can really stretch the imagination.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So number 1, I'll pick the obvious. Metallica is on the guest list and they show up, and guess what? Metallica's playing Enter Sandman as the bride and groom walk down the aisle.
I'll raise you this. After whatever kind of wedding they have, they say Mazel Tov, you may kiss the bride. Skipper fires. As soon as they say you may kiss the bride, boom! And you kiss the bride. So that is my first round pick, and I get to go twice. And as they are doing the vows from beginning to end, exchanging their vows, everybody reaches into their trousers and pulls out keys, and you are shaking the keys on one of the keyest plays of their wedding, of their special day, because that is a key play. That is my second pick.
All right. So instead of a welcome party or a rehearsal dinner, guess what? We're just having a massive tailgate. And the only thing that is available at the tailgate is wild turkey and turkey legs. Is there any other like Virginia Tech like staple foods that would be available here?
I can't think of one. It's just got to be turkey legs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to be turkey legs.
And then my other one is, let's see. The Hokie bird is the officiant of the wedding, and the spirit squad is the ushers.
I like that. I like that a lot. So I got really creative with this next one. You know how we do bouquet tosses?
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a long time, but
so we're doing a little different this year. The groom is going to line up as a long snapper. He is going to snap the bouquet to the bride. Now you're probably thinking, oh, what is she? Is she just going to throw it over her head after the snap? No. All the women in attendance of this will line up on the line in front of the snapper and will try to block a punt of the bouquet. And that is how we perform the bouquet toss. So it'll be a punt, block, bouquet toss, punt. I think that's a winner. I might do that at my wedding.
Okay.
We'll
see if that one catches on.
And I think how everybody does like the cups or the koozies, the gifts. Cups or gifts. Yeah. So we're doing Commonwealth cups, Commonwealth plastic cups as the preferred drinking orifice of the party.
I like that one. Okay. Is this the last one?
This is the last pick.
This is the last one. Okay, let's see. I'm trying, you stick it in somewhere. I'm not going to do that though.
You could do the first dance. You could do cut you down when you're doing the you could do the walk when you're doing the walk down. You could also so like speeches are a big thing at this right
point,
yes.
A big thing, like the ultimate Hokie wedding, obviously. So instead of the groom, the best man and the maid of honor and father of the bride speech, you just got Coach Beamer and Mike Young doing speeches and just talking about how much they love the couple. And prior to that, God's gonna cut you down,
yes.
As they're walking up to get the microphone.
A couple of other ones that I had, Bailey Angle rocking around during like the most popular songs that are playing. So like Don't Stop Believing is on, and there's that one guy at the wedding who's like standing outside of the group, everybody dancing. And then he goes, "Hey, it seems like you don't know this song. Sing along." See if they can sing along to the song.
There's also the, the classic Mike Young versus the popcorn, who can get around the wedding faster. Smithfield Sizzle, you got Hokie Hack at Hokie Hack to show up. And, people are trying to compete against him for the Smithfield Sizzle. That'd be pretty electric.
How did you hold on to the Smithfield Sizzle until bonus rounds?
I don't know.
The only other one, I think if you hit up our guy Brad, he probably has some of those orange smoke grenades.
No.
So you could, I'll never forget when Coach Partridge got married. He got married with a smoke machine, and I was thinking you could do like an orange smoke dance. That might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. People might choke to death though.
That's true.
Especially if it's indoors.
One of I went to a wedding for 2 Georgia Tech grads, and they drove away in the Rambling Wreck. I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of a cool move.
I mean, very cool move.
Yeah, very, very cool move. That was an expensive wedding. Wasn't my money. That's a podcast. We're gonna wrap this thing up with Sharky shoutouts. Again, I want to extend my my happiness to the Young family. To the McLaughlin family, shout out to John McLaughlin. He also got married this past weekend. Also, debate time. Weddings on Friday or weddings on Saturday?
Where is it? Who's getting married?
No, would you prefer to go to a wedding on a Friday or a Saturday? I'm a big Friday truther.
I like them both.
Because Saturday weddings, though, you get the scaries on Sunday because you got to travel back to wherever the hell you're going.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But if you're taking Friday off, are you taking Friday off or you working Friday?
Bro, I make my own hours, bro. I did not log many hours on Friday. No, I drove down to Williamsburg and we knocked it out. But if PTO is involved, I still am a firm believer.
Because you could always take PTO on Monday if you really need to.
Yeah, but the last second PTO that comes in on Sunday, I used to hate sending that text to Jimmy Perillo.
You used to do that?
Oh, dude, yeah.
You used to send in PTO on Sunday asking for Monday off?
Hey, man, when you are at 155% of your number on the 22nd, you can ask for PTO. You may be getting a little bit of a pushback, but you can ask. So handle your business, and you can make it work. But no, I'm a big Friday guy. I've
never been to a Sunday wedding.
People do that?
I hope we keep
Have people done that?
I know it's a thing.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
If you're listening
to this pod and you've had your wedding on a Sunday or you've been to a Sunday wedding,
grace period.
Tweet at Billy Ray.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
But and also tell us if you took PTO on Monday.
I'll just come out and flat out say it. I can't imagine a more. Is that more selfish as a destination wedding? That's more. I would rather you tell me you need to fly to like Rome to see us get married than we're getting married on a Sunday.
I mean, yeah, there's probably a lot of listeners who have been to
That's
Sunday
fine.
weddings.
That's just my opinion.
JMO.
What's that?
Just my opinion.
Just my opinion. And no fall weddings. You do know that. Rule.
Those are the two rules.
My last Sharky shout out goes to our guy JPR. John Parker Romo is still doing his skip. All XFL team with the San Antonio Brahmas. Pronounce it yourself. Brahmas. No idea.
Brahmas.
But shout out to JPR.
That's it. I don't have any shout outs.
No shout outs from you.
No.
That's a podcast. I hope everybody's having a great time. Check out our Mekhi Lewis interview. It dropped earlier today. Man, we're churning out content. But you guys have a good day.